That hair just does not want to stay down. Well, okay. I've already got one thumbs up, and I haven't hardly started talking yet. Good afternoon. 3 people so far in here. Wow, you guys are fast. Don't know who it is yet because there's nobody in the chat showing up yet. Oh, good morning, Incense Shop and Stringfield Ridge Farm. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. I keep wanting to say it's morning. Well, you know what? And 320 Homestead, hi. 6 people in here. Wow, you guys are just Speedy Gonzalez's today. Ah, it feels like such a morning because we have the sun. The sun is shining. And camp. Okay, let me see if I can pronounce this. Camperton Family Compound. Good afternoon. Oh, I tell you, we got a little bit of wind, which is why I'm in the house and not in my tool shed. It's just a little bit too iffy for doing a live stream out there. But we do have sunshine. We had a little bit of that 4-letter word last night. Just saying, but it did not stay. It just was, just teasing us, So anyway, this is the first live stream for me in 2020. And it's like, I was thinking I wasn't getting much done. When you stop to think about it, and I look back real quick at my videos, it's like, wow, I really did get quite a bit done this year, didn't I? We got I did some clearing of the land, and I got fencing up for the horses, which the horses were easy because it's just a single line of electric wire. Oh wow, sunny 66. I'll take the sun, and it's above freezing, so that's wonderful because we had rain. Oh, we had such rain. Oh, as a matter of fact, I've got videos coming up. Well, I'll get to the videos that I'm planning on putting up in a minute. You're in review. I mean, I've gotten quite a bit. I got a barn. Okay. That is a big thing. Even though it was done in 2 stages. We have a barn, and it's working out great. It's not totally finished yet, but hopefully come spring. Oh, hi, Trish. You made it. Wonderful. And let me see here. So what was I talking? The things that have been accomplished so far. I got guineas, and they've been doing their job very well. 21 degrees. Oh, that's too chilly for me. Like, I can't handle that cold weather anymore. See, 5 to 9 miles per hour. That's not too bad, but still a bit breezy. Oh, 1 to 2 inches. Well, I can do 1 to 2 inches. I don't like it, but I can do it. As a matter of fact, the Amish gentleman I drive for, he asked me if they have snow during the week when they have school, if I would be able to drive his kids to school, because their regular driver does not do snow. And even if the school's open, if it's snowing, he's not driving, no matter how little it is, even if it's not even sticking. If it's snowing, he doesn't drive. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not good. I said, well, I've told you before, snow doesn't bother me. I don't like it, but I can handle it, so yeah, if that kind of situation comes up, I can handle driving your kids to school. So, hopefully, I'm praying for no snow. That's just me personally, because like I said, I don't like it. Don't forget to hit the, okay, I hit the thumbs up. um, yeah, I hope I'm not missing too much in the comments. Yes, I think it's supposed to be mostly sunny here this week, which is wonderful. I'm getting sidetracked here. Oh, Glenda Ruff, hi, good afternoon. I think I missed you earlier. 7 people watching and 7 thumbs up. That's awesome. Wow. Anyway, squirrel moment here. I got to doing the year in review here thing, because everybody does a year in review, right? So we got the barn, we got fence up, we got guineas, and just at the tail end of 2019, we got goats. So there's been quite a bit, and of course, as you see, work was done on the ceiling. It's still not done. I still have more to do down that end, but it will come. It's just there's other things that need to be done. We had gravel brought in for the driveway, and and it's a process. It's a process. I harvested a bunch of garlic that was growing here already. Let me see here. I met another fellow YouTuber that lives like 10 minutes from me. And Raven's Nature Family Farm. I hope I got that right. I'm really bad with names. I get things mixed up. And I don't know if she'll be in here today or not. This time of year, it's hard to keep connections, And of course, Prep Starter Bob was here with Self-Reliant Roadshow and his wife, Mrs. B. That was an awesome visit. It's been an absolutely, even though I felt like I wasn't getting anything done, it really has been a very productive year. And 2020 is already starting to look at being productive as well. If you follow me on Instagram, then you already know what happened here on New Year's morning. I'm not going to spill the beans because there is going to be a video coming up. So I know Trish follows me on Instagram, and so don't say anything, Trish. Behave yourself. So that it's starting out to be very productive. Anyway, okay. So that's what it's been a wonderful year. It really has, in spite of not getting as much done as I thought I would get done. And hopefully I'll connect with Becky again. She was posting some videos. I haven't seen anything new from her lately. She does a lot of baking and stuff like that. She's quite the baker. She also does a lot of herbs and stuff like that. Some medicinal herbs she has, and she's got quite the selection of herbs and spices. It's like I was amazed, and I told her that would make great video content. So hopefully she'll start making more videos. I think she got a new camera and a tripod, so she's still learning that, I think. So hopefully she'll be able to put more up before too long. Let me see here. Yeah, I've been driving the Amish, and that has been interesting to say the least. Like I said in one of my videos, the guys, they call themselves the Three Stooges, and they are a riot at times. It's like they just, the one guy, okay, this is hush hush, okay? Because they're not supposed to be doing this. But he found a little GPS at a thrift store, okay, for just a couple bucks, and he bought it. But he couldn't get it to work. Well, my son's good at electronics, so I let him have at it, and he got it working. He got it charging, and now they play with the thing in the back seat. It's like I hear all these languages, like they put it on German, and they put it on somebody had it on Australian English yesterday. It's like they are just a riot. And then of course they're arguing with the GPS, okay? Because the GPS is telling us to go one way, and they're saying, no, we're not going to go that way, we're going to go this way. It's like they are just a riot, really. But they're a good bunch of guys. They really are. They were teaching me how to back up a trailer. So that's a good thing to know, because I hope to be able to find a used stock trailer that I can use for just about anything. If I can get a utility trailer, that would be okay. But I think a stock trailer would be more versatile, because I can use it to haul a horse if I need to, and I can use it to transport the goats, and also I get hay, and there's all kinds of options with a stock trailer. Yeah, who doesn't argue with a GPS? Isn't that what they're there for? So if I can get somewhere between a 10 and 12 foot used stock trailer, that would be awesome. But we'll see. I see a lot of goosenecks around here, or some of the longer trailers. I don't see a lot of the bumper pull smaller stock trailers used, that is, for sale. We came across one that's parked in somebody's property in another town in Kentucky here. And the guy doesn't use it. It's just sitting there, rusting away. The guy doesn't use it, but he's not interested in selling it. So maybe at some time down the road, maybe he will be. I don't know. But it's just the perfect size, and even the perfect shape. I like the kind that's got a little bit of a bull nose, anyway, you know what I mean? It's got a little bit more of a point, so it's more aerodynamic. I mean, the curved ones, they're okay. That's better than a flat nose. Hello, Brian's Lois Hills. I'm not sure if I got that right, but welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. Let me see here. So we've got all that fun stuff. The Amish, they're great guys. They really are. They keep saying they want to come here on my property and shoot me a deer. So they still got a little bit of time yet for deer season. I think it's got another 2 weeks, I think, for deer season. And they keep saying they want to show up here and do some hunting and provide a deer for me. And that would be awesome, because I'll tell you, I've been looking at the price of beef in the stores, and it is even the reduced meats, which I'm in the habit of buying, it's too expensive. I can't justify buying beef. If I can get the pastures producing better, I may get a feeder calf. I don't know if that's going to be something viable for this year or not. That depends. Like Prep Starter Bob suggested, throwing some teff seed out there because it grows fast. That may be a solution. And if that does well, I am planning on sowing teff and some other stuff as well. And if that does as well as he says it does, then that may be the answer to getting things just going a little faster here in the way of pasture. I also have a bunch of trees I need to cut down. And I've got a lot of little trees, which I can handle with the chainsaw that I have. Um, and once I get the goat fence finished, which I'm in the process of doing, then I will, then I can start working on clearing some more trees on the other side of the creek. Um, the one Amish gentleman, he says he would cut the larger trees down for me that are back on my on the pond dam, which really need to go. It's just a matter of finding the time because they are very busy with work, building barns. They just finished one this last week, and now they're back working. They've got a really big project that they're working on, and if they've been taking breaks every now and then, like they took a short break to finish my barn as much as it's done, and they did another guy's barn, and they just did, so they fit three other barns in amongst this big job that they're doing. So they're very, very busy. So I'm hoping that he can find time to cut those trees down, and I'm also hoping that he can find time to get me a deer. I need to practice shooting my 22 for sure, but I don't know that I'd be. It would take me a while to, practice shooting the 22 before I'd feel confident to take down a deer with it. I mean, I've been told, yeah, you can take down a deer with a 22. I've had other people say that's not really ideal, and I guess maybe not. I don't know. The only other gun that I have that you might be able to take a deer down with is my grandfather's shotgun, but that has not been shot in years, decades. I don't think it's been shot since my father got it after my grandfather passed away, and that's been, it's been almost as long as I've been married, and I don't know when the last time was my grandfather shot it, so it's been sitting around. So I'm not even going to attempt to do anything with it unless I have someone who is an expert with guns take a good look at it and clean it up and stuff. And even then, I don't know if I can shoot it or not, because it's an older style shotgun, and I'm assuming it has quite a kickback. So I don't know. It was my grandfather, so if nothing else, it's got sentimental value. So so anyway, we'll see if there's going to be any venison in my freezer. We'll see. If he does, that's wonderful. I told him that I would take that in exchange for me driving him. That's not a problem. But if he's not able to get it, well, then he's not able to get it, and that's, it is what it is. You can. That's what counts. Yeah. I'd have to be absolutely certain that I'd get it. Is it legal to shoot a deer with a 22? From what I understand, things are a little bit looser here in Kentucky. I don't think that you could do that up in New Jersey, but then again, there's a lot of things you can't do in New Jersey. You can barely breathe without permission in New Jersey. So, so I've heard the guys say that, yeah, you can do it, especially if it's on your own property, so long as you're efficient, I guess. I don't know. Oh, hi, Adirondack Camping Adventures. How you doing? Welcome. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm trying to talk, trying to stay on subject, and trying to read the comments, and I don't have a sidekick, so. But so anyway, we've had wanted to tell you, we've had so much rain, and I am going to be posting a video as soon as I get all the pieces together. There is this bridge that we cross on occasion. Okay, just to give you a clue. The name of the bridge is Low Water Bridge. Okay, that might be a clue. And it's muzzleloader season. Okay, in Iowa, muzzleloader, shotgun, bow, and they all have their own season. Yeah, I guess bow you can do. I think it's bow season right now here. I don't, and I've heard about muzzleloader, but I think muzzleloader is a short season here. So I don't even know what a muzzleloader is. I guess you load it from the muzzle end. I don't know. Uh, so I really don't know guns. My father did. You know, he could probably talk a blue streak with anybody about guns, but unfortunately, he did not impart that much knowledge onto me. So, uh, but anyway, so we had this last week. We had rain earlier in the week, and we had over 2 inches overnight. And the water was so high in a lot of the creeks and rivers around here. There was flooding, not on my property. Okay, I'm high and dry. The only problem I have is I have a lot of mud. Okay, and there's a lot of runoff. Now the pond is full and the creek is running good. My creek is a smaller creek because it starts on my property and runs down and fills other creeks. So, but a lot of the other low-lying areas, they were flooding up. And so this bridge that we sometimes cross when I take the guys to work, it all depends on where they have to go and what they have to do. We showed up there one afternoon, and it was like, oh, I went and checked it out before, when I didn't have the guys with me. It was after I dropped them off. I went and checked it out, and I got a video of the water washing over the bridge. I mean, you could barely tell where the bridge was. And it was just like gangbusters, you know. Now, before that, I had taken a video, and I'm hoping I still have it. I had taken a video of some of the debris that was clogging underneath the bridge, okay, and it was washed up on either side. I mean, big, humongous logs, okay, and it was underneath the bridge was practically dammed up. The center section was dammed up, okay. The water was barely coming through, but it had like 3 sections, you know, and the other 2 sections on either end, they were flowing pretty good, but that center section was pretty packed. And it was pretty low. So I have a video of before the rain with all the debris and stuff from previous storms. Okay. Then the water again going over the bridge. And then a couple of days later, we showed up back there, and it was a mess. There were huge logs on the bridge. There were chunks of pavement washed off the bridge. I mean, it was not passable. You could not cross that bridge. And it's like, we thought for sure that it was going to be out of commission for a while, you know, because that bridge is on the boundary line between 2 counties. One county has money, the other one doesn't. Okay. And so we weren't real sure how this was going to work out. Oh, hi, Michigan Daffodil. I didn't see you pop in until just now, so hopefully I didn't miss you. Oh, only 22 minutes? Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Just getting started, right? So then we were just like, figured, okay, that bridge is off our route for a while. So, well, the other day, we were going, actually, it was just yesterday. Yeah, it was just yesterday. I don't normally drive them on Saturday, but he couldn't get anybody else to drive them, and he needed to get some horse feed. So, so we were going to a different place from where we had been, and it would take me a different route than what I was used to. So I was using a GPS. Well, the GPS was going to take me down onto the low water bridge. And it's like, oh, I don't think we can go that way. But they didn't have the road blocked off any longer. So we figured, oh, well, we'll just go down and take a look at it. So we did. We drove down. I drove down very slowly because I did not know what to expect. Lo and behold, they cleared the bridge. They cleared the bridge. They cleared underneath the bridge. And they patched the pavement. It's like, we were shocked. So, and like I said, I'll be putting the video up. Hopefully this week I can get it edited and put all these pieces together so you can see what I'm talking about. But that was pretty interesting this week. And it's like, it's just been a crazy rainy week this week. And I've got all kinds of mud. I got to redirect some water here on the property. I dug a drainage ditch behind the barn, and I can see where I have a couple of places that I need to dig a little bit deeper because it's not quite low enough for it to drain properly. So it's, it's one of those things. Now, when I'm done here, I have to go out and start ripping some wood because I need to build another gate. I was going to be running picked up the white electric tape from back by the pond, and I've got that closed off from the horses right now, so they can't get back there. And that's okay. They can get water because the creek is running really good. Okay. So that's why I just completely shut them off from back there. And I took the white tape for the fence from back there so I can reuse it on the pasture down by the driveway. And so I was starting to put that up. I got all my posts in, and I wasn't ready to hook it up to the electric yet, but I just kind of tied it off and started running it down, and then it was time to feed the goats. And so I got the feed, and I looked, okay, I have to duck under that tape. I need a gate there, or I can't get into the goats. The goats are doing really well. They're coming along. And there will be a video coming up this week. That's the next one to be edited. I had hoped to have it edited and uploaded before today, but I didn't. But let's just say there is a development with the goats. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know what that development is. And by the way, on Instagram, it's Mother of Many Horses. Okay. Just saying. And you have Amish there too. Oh, yes. Yes, we have Amish. It's a growing Amish community, as a matter of fact. They've only been here for, I think, 2 years, maybe 3 at the most. But it is a growing community, and they interact very well with the English, which is what they refer to people who are not Amish. So they mingle with us and everything. They still have their own lifestyle, their own culture, but they interact with us, so and they're a great bunch of people. I've been enjoying my interaction with them immensely. So I have to build another gate. I have so many squirrels going on, don't I? Yeah, so I have to build another gate so that I can get access to the pasture from up here without having to go around where the goats are in order to get in to feed them. So that's what I'm going to be working on this afternoon. If I don't get it done this afternoon, I'll probably finish it tomorrow, and then I can start running the electric line, and then we will open the gate and let the goats have the larger pasture, and possibly even let them have interaction with the horses. Closely monitored to see how this goes, because they will be sharing pastures, in certain places. They will be sharing pastures. So Honey's been very intrigued with them. she just stands at the gate, at the fence line, and she watches them. Um, Now Deeza, she'll watch them, but she's not as like interested in them as Honey is. But Honey's always been a very curious horse. She's a busybody. What can I say? Because I don't know about it. Oh yeah, it's been a learning experience. I've watched a few things on YouTube about the Amish, and I've picked up a few things over the years because we had the Amish is in Pennsylvania, which is not far from New Jersey. You love my squirrels, yeah. I got plenty of squirrels. um, so, um, but like, here's something I didn't know, and I just learned, is that normally I'll be driving them to work on Monday tomorrow. Well, no, I'm not driving them tomorrow because tomorrow is a holiday for them. And it's what they refer to as Old Christmas. I think I got that right, Old Christmas. And what they do is they fast on that day. And he was they were talking about it. I picked him up after we had run some errands in town. And so I had my husband and my son with me. And they were talking about, he didn't know if it was when Christ was born or what, the original, or it's like, who knows? We know that Christ was not born in December for sure, but back when said to them that back when your holiday was set, they probably didn't know any more than anybody else back then, and so this is what they assumed that it was about that time. So it's like it doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned. So long as we recognize the birth of Christ, I think that's the biggest thing anyway. So, let me see here. Am I missing any questions I need to? You know what? If you have any questions for me, and this has worked for other channels, put the question in all caps. That way, maybe I can pick it up a little bit better, because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. Even a statement directed towards me specifically, because I don't want to interrupt for the conversation you're having amongst yourselves, but if you have a specific question for me, go ahead and put it in all caps, and hopefully that'll help me catch it a little bit better. So let me see here. We were talking about the flooding and the Amish and the goats. Upcoming videos, Honey and the goats, and we'll see how that works out. Honey has had goats with her before, so I don't foresee there being a problem. Deeza, I'm not sure, but she just doesn't seem like she's all that interested. So I guess so long they'll have plenty of room to get away from each other if they want to be away from each other. But I think that the goats are probably more than ready to get out of that small space. Of course, right now, if it's not in their shelter, I had, on New Year's Eve day, I had beefed up their shelter some. I put a tarp over the back of the pallet wall so that it would block the wind better. I would like to put some boards up across there so that it's even more airtight, but I haven't had the time to do that. So I figured the tarp is better than nothing. So I put the tarp up there, and I also put a few more pallets down because I knew the rain was coming, and I just don't have the drainage going just right, and it's still going into the shelter somewhat. So I put a few more pallets down, and I also got a bale of straw, and I threw that down in there. I'll tell you, they compact those straw bales pretty tight. So I didn't put the whole bale in there so I could add more. But Oh, that's wonderful that Amish family came in and bought the farm next to you. They are going to be great neighbors. If they're anything like the ones around here, they'll be great neighbors. Um, the only thing is, don't be surprised if they ask you if they can put a phone booth on your property or run a freezer. They'll pay you for it. They're very good about that. They'll pay you for it. But don't be surprised if they do that, because they're not supposed to have electricity on their property, and they're not supposed to have a phone on their property. Okay, but they can own one on somebody else's property. So it's the way that it's the bishop of their church, which is their preacher, is the one who sets the rules for the different communities. So I'm not sure what their community is like. Different ones have different rules. Some can have bikes with pedals. Some can only have scooters. Some can't have bicycles at all, even the scooters. So, different. Are you in a tiny house? That reminds me of tiny. Well, like I mentioned to Sherry and Daryl on Two Family Homestead when they interviewed me back a while ago, they asked me if I was going to do a tiny house. Well, it's a tiny house on steroids. It's a 12 by 40, supposedly Amish built shed. Okay. And but it has a second floor. We can stand up in it. Okay. It's got a knee wall of about, I don't know, maybe 3 feet, I guess, behind me. I'm sitting on my bed right now. But I think that's about 3 feet. Okay. And then it's got a peaked roof, a pretty decent steep, I guess. So, and we just use it for bedroom and storage. But yeah, so it's smaller than what most people have, but it's also bigger than your typical tiny house. So, I mean, there's just 3 of us, my husband and my son. And my son has a bedroom downstairs, it was going to be my father's room, but he passed away before we had the cabin set up. So my son got it, and my husband and I are up here, and we also have our storage because we have a lot of this, that, and the other. He's got a lot of books, and I have other stuff. Everything's still in boxes, mind you, because it's not finished. I've been trying to get the infrastructure of the homestead up with fence and buildings and whatnot. I'm trying to figure out. I need to build a goat barn. Okay. Yeah. Why don't we segue into 2020? We did a recap of 2019. Let's go into 2020. Okay. I definitely will need a goat barn. Okay. And that will be, I got to make sure it's someplace where it's going to be dry. There is an area closer to the creek that used to have a barn. And I've had it roped off from the horses because there's a lot of trash and debris and stuff in that area, and it just needs to be cleaned up. But I've noticed that there's still some cinder blocks that are mortared together in that area. And so, but I got to get down there and clean it up before I can do anything with it. And I don't know if it's going to be a viable location for a goat barn or not. Another place that I was thinking about was the area to the back end of my cabin. It's not quite as steep of a hill. It's back where I have the guinea coop. But I'd put the goat barn up the hill a little bit more. That's a possibility. So I'm still trying to figure that out, where would be the best location for the goat barn. And will be someplace where I can keep the nannies that are going to be kidding, and also to be able to sort goats and whatnot. It's not something that's pressing right now, but if the goat thing works out and I develop quite a herd and a good breeding program, then yeah, I'm going to need to have a goat barn. Okay, just so I have some place where they can be dry and out of the weather. Okay. Um, um, and also, besides the goat barn, is I need to build a chicken coop because this year, okay, I've got the goats, I've got the horses, I got the guineas. We're going to do chickens. I hope to have chickens here by spring, if not a little bit sooner. That all depends on how long it takes me to get a coop built. And yes, it will be a separate coop from the guineas. The guineas were here first, and so they may not appreciate chickens being brought into their territory. So I need to have a safe place for the chickens away from the guineas. Okay, you know what? I didn't think I had done very much, you know. But when I look back and I see what I've done, what has come about this year, some of it I've done, some of it I've hired out. It's like, wow, I really did get something accomplished this year, and that's very reassuring. It's uplifting that when you stop to think about it, because I was really, at one point I was like, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm not getting anything done, but yeah, I did get something done, so I say this year it's going to be chickens and Muscovy ducks. Those would be the two main ones that I'm planning on getting. I think I mentioned before that if I get the pastures going well enough, there may be a feeder calf, but that's not a priority. That's like out there after I get everything else I want. The chickens I really want for the eggs, because we would be going through more eggs than what we do now. I ration the eggs that we get now because I have to buy them. But with the chickens, hopefully I'll develop a good breeding program like I was developing when I was in New Jersey, and hopefully I can sell replacement pullets. That's one of my goals anyway, depending on how the market is down here. So much stuff beyond food, shelter. Okay, let me see. Clothing and tools, transportation to work. Pretty simple. Oh yeah, we do have, yeah, compared to the Amish, yeah, we do. We have a lot more stuff. I tease the guys I transport because they use my cell phone. Okay, it's a smartphone. And I tease them because they're better at using my cell phone than my husband is. It's like, that is just too funny. As a matter of fact, the one guy that I transported yesterday, I had to run him to the bank real quick yesterday morning before it closed. And I had things I had to do here at home, but he had other stuff to do too that he needed to run for. And so what I did is I let him keep my cell phone with him because I knew he was expecting at least one, if not two phone calls. Okay. He had given these people my phone number. So, so I let him have my cell phone. Anyway, there's the videos on YouTube that are parodies of the Amish, and it's funny. The guys are the ones who put me onto these videos, and it's just too funny. And anyway, in one of them, this guy, he says, my neighbor stores his cell phone in my pocket. It's like, so I said to him, I said, I'm going to store my cell phone in your pocket for a couple hours, okay? So he knew exactly what I was talking about. It was too funny. But what are the name? What's the titles of those YouTube videos? Man, I tell you, the one that I think he got me started was Jacob's Uber Buggy. So if you do a search on YouTube for Jacob's Uber Buggy, maybe you'll get it. And it's just too funny. Some of the things that they do, and they've got these guys. They have a good sense of humor. They really do. They're great guys. I've never been to Idaho. It's such cold. Oh man, I don't. Yeah, I lived in Canada for 16 years. Been there, done that with a cold. No, thank you. I'm done. I'm perfectly happy here in Kentucky. I know exactly what you people go through up north. It's like, no, thank you. But I do feel for you. I totally understand. Person don't realize how much they actually spend until you write it down. Oh yeah, exactly. And I can honestly say these guys, they don't take advantage. They some of them have experience with some of the vehicles and whatnot. They're not totally ignorant of a lot of this stuff, because when they're teenagers, their culture permits them to go out into the world and experience a lot of things that they don't have in their daily life. And some of them will have cars, they'll own cars for a short while, which means they have to have a license and they have to have insurance and all that fun stuff. So they're not totally ignorant of it. They're aware of what's involved. And then at a certain time, they're supposed to come back and they make a decision at that point as to whether or not they want to remain Amish or if they want to be out in the world. And if they make a decision at that time that they don't want to live the Amish lifestyle, they're still allowed to interact with family and friends that are still Amish. But if they come back and they say, I want to live the Amish lifestyle, and then later in life they decide, no, I made a mistake. I don't want this lifestyle any longer. I want to be, not Amish. Then they are ostracized from their family and friends, and they're not allowed to interact. Now, that's how I understand it. Now, different communities might have varying degrees of that, but that's how I understand it to be. It's what it's called for Amish teens. Oh, okay. Rumspringer. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that there was a name for it. Yeah. So it's interesting. And they have a lot of young people that still remain Amish. So, and honestly, there are some people, and we've even seen some on YouTube, that want to model themselves after the Amish lifestyle to a point. They still hang on to some technology, obviously, because some YouTube and whatnot. But there's still a lot of people that want that simple lifestyle. Some Amish will shun family if they turn away from the faith at all. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, it's varying degrees, depending on the community, and each community has varying degrees. So. But personally, I don't. For somebody else to tell you that you have to adhere to these specific things or you're destined to go to hell, well, I'm sorry, it's not scriptural. So just saying. I feel for them because their church is so rules oriented. Now, depending on who their preacher is. Maybe some get more of scriptural teaching than others. But it's, from what I understand, it's a lot of tradition, and it's not necessarily scriptural. They have a tie historically to the Anabaptist, way back when. But I don't know, over the years, primarily because of the language barrier. A lot of the younger Amish don't really understand their Bible, because they have to have this specific translation of the Bible, and it's in Old German, and a lot of them, they may be able to read it, but they don't necessarily understand it. Like a lot of people these days, they don't understand the King James. Okay, and I've heard people say that, the King James is the only decent version, the only inspired version, whatever. It's like, no, I don't buy that, because I know that God wants people to understand his word. And when I was in college, just as an example, okay, when I was in college, I took an English class that was heavy in Shakespeare. Okay, that was a core of the curriculum. And it wasn't a large class, but I figure, okay, I read Shakespeare, I'm okay with it. And he had to take a 2-week break in the curriculum in order to explain the Old English to the majority of the class. There was myself and one other student who understood, had a pretty good understanding of the Shakespearean English, okay? And I think that a good portion of that is because growing up, we grew up with the King James Bible, okay? And I've since gone on to other versions, but I think because of that exposure as a young person, that helped me understand Shakespeare a little bit better. And so, I mean, if these people can't even understand Shakespeare, college students, because it's in Old English and they're not exposed to it, it's like, I'm sorry, then I don't see a problem with, and I'm probably going to step on some toes, but I don't see a problem with newer versions of scripture, so long as they use the original languages to verify the meaning. And unless you know the original languages, which is Greek and Hebrew, then there's going to be possibly some inaccuracies in some of the translations, but I don't think it's significant. I think God I think that he would protect his word. So we've got some really good translations out there, and then you just compare them, and you understand the basic gist, okay? Like, love your neighbor as yourself, do unto others the way you would have them do unto you, okay? Treat them the way you want to be treated, that's how I see it anyway. It's near San Francisco, and we would get low 20s a lot. Add the bay fog and breeze, and you would think it was -10. Really? I would not. San Francisco, that's in Southern California, isn't it? It seems to me my brother was stationed in San Francisco when he was in the Navy, when he was first in the Navy. So, am I missing anything here? Oh, I don't know. Oh, anyway, we got sidetracked, didn't we? Oh, man. Oh, well, it is starting to get warm up here because the sun is beating on through the window and on the roof, and I have a long sleeve t-shirt on. But that's okay, because when I go outside to start working on that gate, I won't be too hot, will I? So anyway, I am going to call it for now, and keep tabs. Be watching for 2 videos this week, hopefully. One showing the flooding and the other showing a New Year's morning surprise. So, like I said, on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, you know what that surprise was. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then you're just going to have to wait till the video comes out this week. I'm not sure which is going to be up first. I think maybe the surprise one is going to be up first. So, so I just got to sit down in front of the computer and do the editing so I can get them up. So hopefully within a day or two, I'll have the first one up. And then hopefully before the end of the week, I'll have the other one up. All right. So have a good one, people. Enjoy this lovely warm weather if you're getting it. I'll see you in the next video, okay? Have a good one.